Hi loves, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Waki, and in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to cut and stitch the gathered pencil skirt. If you are new to this channel, please do not forget to like, subscribe and comment on my video, and if you are an old subscriber, please just like and comment on my video, and let's get started already. This is a very simple tutorial and does not require a lot of material, so we'll be making use of our skirt patterns. I have the fabric and then my scissors. I already have a ready-made skirt template. If you want to learn how to cut and sew a skirt, you can let me know in the comment section. Please note that I've added allowance to my skirt pattern, so if you've not done that on yours, you are going to go ahead to add it before tracing out on another paper like I'm doing right now. And then I'm using my marker pen to highlight those points I traced, so you can easily see that it's still the same skirt pattern. Next step now is drawing in my darts. This might not look important right now, but it's going to help very much with fit. Now this part is a no-brainer. I'm going to cut that part out using my scissors. We all know that by now we are not supposed to use our fabric scissors to cut our papers. We should use our paper scissors for cutting paper. We'll not be having a physical dart on this skirt. The only way we can use it is to control it. That's why we are going to fold out the dart right now and tape it down using our masking tape. Just before adding fullness to our skirt, we're going to take the measurements of the sides and the center front. When you take the measurements, you are going to note it down just like I've done. And we are proceeding now to adding the fullness. After taking the measurement of the center front, you are going to divide that measurement into 3, and then I'm going to mark it down just as you've seen me do. After marking down, I'm going to rule it out. I'm going to label my 3 sections 1, 2 and 3 just like I'm doing right now, and I'm marking with the arrows too, so I can know the directions. After which I'm going to cut out using my scissors. Now I'm going to use that center front to align it on my fabric. Remember, this is the front, and then the fabric has to be on fold, all right, so that when we open we have our full front. And then I'm aligning the center front of the parts of my pattern that I cut out with the center of the fabric I just folded, and with the aid of my sellotape I'm just taping it down. I'm going to allow some inches between section 1 and section 2 just like I'm doing right now. You can choose to add whatever width to your fabric. I'm aligning it on, I think I marked about 8 inches, and I'm going to tape it down with my tape just like I did for the first one. For a rule of thumb, your fabric should be about the length of your skirt times 2. For instance, if you want your skirt length 26, you can multiply that by 2 to give you 52 inches, or you can do by 3 depending on how long you want it. But I didn't have a lot of fabric, and I'm making do with what I have. I'm aligning the third section with the lower part of my fabric. Remember, I told you I added seam allowance already to the bottom of my pattern. So if you've not done so, you may want to add seam allowance before taping it down this way. The second section almost flew away, so I had to tape the lower part as well. I'm going to pay very close attention at this point. Look where I'm marking from the third section and the first section. So I'm using my ruler to connect these points. I'm not following that middle section the way it is. So when I'm done, I'm going to cut this part out using my scissors. I'm done now with the cutting, so I'm free to remove my patterns from the fabric. I've gone ahead to tape it right back because I'll still be needing it to cut out the back. One more thing to do to the front before sewing is making notches at the points we added allowance, and I'm opening it up and you can see how long it looks even when the video is cut. Before going about stitching, we are going to cut out the back pattern. I've folded my fabric into two just like so, and now I'm placing my skirt pattern. I didn't add any zipper allowance to my skirt pattern, and that's what I'm doing right now directly on the fabric. So I've gone ahead to mark out 2 inches, and then I'll align the skirt pattern to these points I've marked. I've indicated the hip points as well, and please, if you're a beginner, you're going to use pins to hold this down before cutting out. As you can see from the hip point to the top, I slanted it at the top by half an inch till I got to that point. So please take note when you're cutting out your skirt pattern. And at the top of the side, I've added extra half an inch because I subtracted from that middle point of the hips. On the front part of the skirt, you are going to go ahead and make running stitches. The stitch length should be set to the longest, and then you make a stitch from that notch point we made till the other notch point, or you can just start your stitch a little before that notch point. I did that already and I've gone ahead to pull it. You can also make two of those stitches on each side, but make it a little bit away from your seam allowance. It should not be very close to the side, so that when you want to sew it's going to be easy. I've gone ahead to pull it carefully, making sure not to break my thread. And then after this step, I'll use my tape to remeasure that side. Remember, we took the measurement of the side before adding the allowance initially, and then we are going to make sure we are gathering up to get that same measurement. I'm in the business of adjusting right now because the measurement was higher than what I got, so I have to make sure I gather it up until I have that initial measurement. I think it was about 26 or 27 inches. Whatever length you're working with, please make sure to gather up to that same length. Take a look at our first side. I've gotten what I wanted, and I'll move ahead and repeat same for the other side. Look how beautiful our front part is. We've not started stitching and yet it's looking this put together. We'll go ahead to attach it to the back and then we'll follow. I'm going ahead to join the back pieces together, leaving room for slits at the bottom and for the zip at the top. I'm going to align it that way, and using my sewing machine, I'll sew the two parts together. I went ahead to add my band, zipper, and then folded in my slit. I'm so sorry I didn't record that part. Maybe some of that. Thank you so much for watching, and this is what it looks like on me. Bye.